Hi everyone, and welcome to a little 101 on tarot reading. I have to say it's one of the most popular aspects of my psychic development course, and a really popular course online is the Tarot 101 course, which gives you all the basics. But I'm going to do a small series to sort of demystify aspects of tarot reading. First one, this particular one is a little video is to do with the tarot decks, and that's what people get really confused about. There's such a vast variety of tarot decks available to you now. It's just like, wow, which one do I use? And quite often students will come to my physical classes with their tarot decks that they've never used. And when I had a shop in Largs on the west coast of Scotland, I definitely had tarot decks that were surrendered into the shop because people just didn't know how to use them. So here are some basics. I've got a little variety of cards over here. I'm just going to bring into screenshot. Okay, Rider-Waite. This is the classic, most famous deck. This is a really old deck. You wouldn't get this particular box set now. It's a two-piece box set, which is really quite unusual. Very basic, but this is the grandfather of tarot decks. Extremely popular, globally well known, and as you can see, the pictures, they might be a little bit primitive, but if you want a classic deck that is sort of really simple to interpret in terms of color, imagery, etc., then this is the one to use. And you can really see the different suites. You can see which ones are the trump cards, or the major arcana, if you like, which cards are, the cups, the pentacles, the wands and the swords, etc. They're really easy to divine and very clear numbers. So this is the daddy of them all, the grandfather of all tarot decks. You can't go wrong with it. You can't go wrong. However, if you are just starting out and you want a training deck, there are a couple of training decks out there. I used to sell one in my shop in Largs, which I can't for the life of me remember. I think it might just be your basic training tarot deck. But this one here, Simply Tarot. Really a wonderful starter deck, and I'll tell you for why. It has a tiny explanation, a little bit like Oracle decks, has a tiny explanation of the cards at the bottom. So it gives you that little hint, because to memorize a book of all the definitions of each card could be quite mind-blowing, if not near impossible. The pictures are really, really colourful and lovely on this deck. And they've sort of mixed a little bit of photography in here, so the people tend to be real images. And then the rest of it is those sort of wonderful graphics. So here we've got the king there, the emperor, and he's got his face. So that's a really wonderful deck. So a simple tarot deck, Simply Tarot, or a beginner's guide with a tiny little bit of explanation, is it's okay to use. That you will get a feel for how to use the tarot, and you'll get a feel for what's available out there. I think for myself, what I sort of say to my students is, so what are you passionate about? So for some people, they're really passionate about gods and goddesses. The cat people tarot is extremely popular. We've got the moon tarot, you've got butterfly tarot, angel tarot, all sorts of different topics now, which, when I first started, there weren't half as many varieties out there, just the classic decks. But think about what you're passionate about. If you love angels, then use an angel tarot deck. If you're really into the goddess energy, then use the goddess tarot deck. If you really love cats, then use the cat people. Then use the dragons, use the rose, use whatever deck that is going to stimulate your clear senses, because that's the key thing. You are going to need a deck of cards that supports your particular passion. And if you buy a deck that really stirs your passion, then actually that's half the battle, because you love the tool that you're using. What a lot of students often ask me is, so what did you start with, Phil? And here they are. This pack, this particular genre of the Thorth Tarot is no longer available. I bought these cards over 40 years ago when I was in Jonathan Keener's shop in York. And he's a great astrologer in the UK. And I popped into his shop and just had this most amazing conversation with the shop assistant there. And I happened to say to him, about the tarot, etc. The white box is no longer available, and the cards are massive. I like big cards. I take my glasses off when I'm reading. I've always done that. I'm extremely short-sighted, so when I've got these giant cards, and I'll just give you a scale. So this is the Rider-Waite deck, and this is the Thoth deck. So they are absolutely huge. Really a pain to shuffle, but once you get used to shuffling them, you will find that, you get your fingers wrapped around them. And so this particular deck, there is no white margin around the cards, but this is the another deck. As you can see, I will use my cards so often that the tops always fall off. But I like the Thoth cards because they are just a little bit more graphic. They have more color. So when I say graphic, I'm talking about detail. They're not scary. They're definitely not bloodthirsty or anything like that. I do have a Viking set of tarot cards, and they are quite bloodthirsty in terms of some of the graphics in there. But I like the symbology in them. And again, that's my passion. So what's your passion? Think about your passion and buy a deck of cards that is going to really get your passion stirred up. And then when it comes to what comes with your cards, so this is the Aleister Crowley book that comes with the cards. It's a very simple book, gives you a definition, and it gives you the positive turned definition and the negative. So when the card is facing in an upright position, that's the positive, or if it's in a downward position, that's the reverse. So you get all of that. But there are some cards, and I have to say, when I moved to New Zealand 16 years ago, I didn't bring my tarot decks with me. They were all in the packing boxes. So I had to buy a set of tarot cards when I was here. And I bought two of this particular creator. I think you call him Ciro Marchetti. I'm not quite sure, but he is Italian. He's an architect, and he used his drawing skills to create I've got two sets of his tarot cards. They are extremely colourful. And this is the book. This is the book that comes with his cards. It is phenomenal. The information is amazing. The story is amazing. Go on to his website. This is the Divine Tarot, and I've got the Gilded Tarot. The Gilded Tarot was his first tarot deck. The Divine Tarot is his second. And you will see the creation of the land that he depicts, the people, the land, the events that he depicts within his decks. He is phenomenal. Absolutely. Well, to my mind, he is phenomenal. And his cards really engage my interest. They really engage my thoughts and feelings around which tarot to use. So I can watch the video and the creation of this quite happily, being really drawn in to the mysticism and the magical aspect of the worlds that's in his mind. Just amazing. You can buy tarot decks for him, and he will well, it depends on the price you pay, but if you pay for the top quality deck, he will create one card specifically for you that does not belong to any other tarot deck, which I think is awesome. Absolutely awesome. So to sum up, when you're choosing your tarot cards, there is no right or wrong. If you find a deck that just sparks your interest, that you feel really drawn to, then just start to use it, start to practice with it. Doesn't matter what size the cards are, whether they're the small size or the large graphic size that I have, just because I'm short sighted, and that's fine. If you've got short explanations on your cards, then that's also fine. It's about finding a tool that is absolutely key to help you develop your skills. The only thing I will be, I'll give you a word of warning over, is in my shop, it was almost like a tarot amnesty. So every week or every month, a pack of cards would suddenly appear on my cash desk, usually wrapped in a silk cloth or a half of some sort or something. They'd be wrapped up. Anyway, I did get this particular deck. This is the Renaissance deck. And I did get this particular deck in two silk handkerchiefs, which was quite unusual. I thought, oh, yep, what's this one? It is actually a beautiful deck of cards, but there is a lot of nudity in this card. So again, be really aware if you are going to be using your cards publicly. You may not want to be using a deck which has quite a bit of nudity in it, because you might find them offensive, but your guests might find them offensive as well. So be really aware of some of the characteristics of the deck. There is no mention of nudity in the cards, but when we think of the Renaissance, we think of the artwork of that time. It was all about exposing the body, exploring the body, the postures, the poses, the recumbent people, gladiator men. There's all sorts of stuff in this particular pack. So again, just be really mindful of what pushes your buttons, what you think you're going to be really, really passionate about that will trigger your enthusiasm, and then just take it from there. So this is the first of the tarot series. The next time I'm going to look at myth busting some of the superstitions. So join me for the next session in Tarot 101. Until the next time, namaste.